Hey everybody. So today I just want to talk about the importance of healing before manifesting your dream life. I'm not saying you have to be 100% healed before you do it. I'm just saying it's going to help the process and the outcome of what you're manifesting if you're healing along the process or if you've healed certain aspects of yourself before creating what you desire. The reason I say this is before we address like traumas or pains from our past, we're just gonna keep recreating patterns in our life to affirm the way those traumas had made us feel in our life. So let's say I felt unworthy growing up, or I felt unloved in some way, and for some reason that stuck with me that I am that way. And then I go and try to manifest a relationship. I'm gonna create a relationship from that space of feeling like I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable enough. And it's just gonna create a not healthy dynamic in the relationship because I hadn't healed those pains within me. Sometimes when we're manifesting stuff, it could be from a place of the ego of like, I need this to show people that I'm successful, or I want this because I need to prove like my worth in some way. When you're creating from that space, you're not gonna be fulfilled when you receive that thing you're creating. Versus when you take the time to look at yourself and say, wow, I see this pattern in my life. I keep attracting hurtful people into my life, or I keep attracting situations that always make me feel empty inside. It's like, take a look at that and see why that is. Whether it's through journaling, meeting with a therapist, a life coach, all these things are great resources to helping you figure out what blocks you may be facing. And then once you get healed on that, or clearer on why you did certain things in the past, or why certain things hurt you when people say them, you're gonna be able to better create for yourself what you want, because you're coming from a place of feeling whole within you rather than feeling empty and feeling like something outside of you is gonna give you that wholeness, that feeling. And you can always look for that external feeling of wholeness, but it's never gonna last. It's always gonna be temporary when it's outside of you. And how powerless does that feel? You have to be like, oh, I need to hang out with this person to feel worthy. And when they're gone, I don't feel worthy. Like, that diminishes your power versus coming from a place of like, I feel great inside. I feel good within myself. I'm whole and worthy as I am. And then attracting somebody like that, or attracting a job aligned with that, attracting friends aligned with that. It's gonna come from a much better place versus looking for someone else to fill your cup. A great example of this, because it's one of the easiest ones, is just a relationship. Say you want to manifest a relationship, you haven't done any of the work to heal from your last one, or any of the work that may be affecting your life today from childhood, and you attract somebody from that place. They're going to be somebody that's going to be matching you in that unhealed space, in that unaware space, and you guys are going to kind of butt heads probably often because you're both unaware of what's really going on deep down inside, and asking each other to fill it. That's a dynamic in a lot of relationships, which is fine. I think it's part of life, but I think it's important to grow from that too. So instead, before looking for that perfect person or whatever, take a look at yourself and take the time that you're single to work on yourself and to look at, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my triggers when in a relationship? If you actually like take a look and like see, wow, my childhood affected me this way, and that's why I attract people like this, or wow, my last relationship was like this and now I struggle trusting. Just being as open and honest with yourself and super vulnerable to get to the root of things. And a great way to do this is by journaling. I'll actually leave some journal prompts below that have helped me when I'm feeling like I could do some self-reflection. And then let's say in the same scenario, so you did the work on yourself, and now this person can find you and see you, the real you, and you guys can come together and create a great relationship because you've worked on your stuff. This person has to have worked on their stuff in order for you guys to come together. It's just true. When you're focusing on yourself and working on nurturing yourself, you're gonna attract better things versus when you're looking outside of yourself to fill your cup. When your cup is already filled, you're gonna find people around you that also have their cup filled and know how to take care of themselves and be able to, meet you where you're at. Versus like an unequal balance in the relationship because you both are trying to take from each other's cup versus filling up your own. And you might realize after doing the work that your priorities change. You might have not want that same things that you thought you wanted. Maybe you find you're okay exactly where you're at in your life, or things that you put material value on just don't matter to you anymore because you're feeling good about yourself and you're like, oh, maybe I don't need that fancy car to flaunt. Being okay with where you're at is just so much better to attract from because you're not coming from a place of need. When you're attracting from this place of need, it's not gonna feel good. You're gonna feel desperate. And when you're attracting from desperate energy, people can feel that. I mean, we all know that person that's like desperate for something. You feel it. Attracting from that is just so unattractive versus attracting from a place of like, I'm whole, I'm complete, I'm good. I don't need anything outside of me. That's when you become magnetic. That's when people are interested in you. That's when people feel like, oh, I want to get to know them. I want to be around them because they don't need anything from me. We can just hang out and enjoy each other's company. It's not this fight of like, fill up my cup, you know? That's why doing the work is so important before you manifest, because that's the only way you are going to feel whole and complete within yourself instead of looking for external validation. So it's really important before, trying to manifest your dream life. It's like, first, see if you're good. See if you're attracting from a place of an empty cup or a full cup. Honestly, that's changed so much for me because I've obviously been in that position where I'm trying to get external validation, trying to fill up my cup through others, and that's like the worst feeling, the worst thing I could possibly do to myself, and the worst way I could take care of myself. But when I actually did the work and got a life coach, I had a therapist, I was really motivated and becoming a better person within myself so I could be better for those around me. And no longer running my life in a scarcity mindset, but in a mindset that I'm gonna be okay no matter what happens because I know in my heart that I'm a good person, that I do things out of integrity and love. And so if people wanna come into my life and have that same vibe with me, that's great. And if they don't, that's also great because I'm not desperate. I'm not gonna chase anybody. I'm not gonna beg anyone to stay. I'm good within myself now, so I don't need to externally search for that. And yes, of course, we're all human. We're still gonna have moments. We can always take a step back and reflect in those moments where you feel stung by something because there's another thing to heal. Might as well not stress too much about being perfect or feeling great all the time, but once you go towards the pain instead of running away from the pain, that's where the true growth lies. Address it when it comes up because it's just gonna keep following you. I mean, how many times have you tried avoiding something and then it comes up in another situation through another person and you're like, damn, I thought I learned this lesson, but it's like, oh wait, maybe I didn't because I was just running away from the pain. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna leave some journal prompts below that will help with self-reflection if you feel like you wanna dive deeper into healing or start the healing process or just understand yourself a little bit better.